What's going on, everyone? So, once again, the Lakers play another game in which they cannot score the basketball. No one on this team can shoot. No one on this team can score with any consistency or regularity. Austin Reeves gave you a 20-point game, but he's been very inconsistent this year. He still can't shoot the basketball. He was 2 of 6 from three. His three-point shot just completely disappeared. And I don't know how you look at this team. I don't know how you look at this roster. I don't know how you look at these games and the way that the Lakers are playing and go, we don't need Zach Lavine. I'm sure many people are tired of hearing me talk about Zach Lavine, but we need him. We do. And I'm trying to put it into the universe. Look, are there better options out there? Yes. Right? I would love a Donovan Mitchell. Right? I'd love something like that. But he's not realistic. Lakers are very limited on assets, very limited on just draft picks and things like that. Zach Lavine is obtainable. He doesn't have much of a market because not many teams need a Zach Lavine, for one, and two, because of his contract and all that stuff, right? Zach Lavine, like, people are always worried, like, oh, well, yeah, but I don't want to trade Zach Lavine for the depth. What depth? What depth is there? Nobody is playing anything. Everyone has been terrible. Our third most consistent guy, and I know he had a bad game yesterday, but for 2 months straight, Taurean Prince has been our most consistent guy. He's basically been a lock for 3 to 4 threes a game. Outside of that, no one else has been as consistent. Right? It's just, what depth? What talent? What? Zach Lavine has been better on fewer attempts than like 3 of our 4 of our guys combined. Go look up Rui Hachimura. Tell you what, let's do this in real time while I'm recording the video. Okay? So, here. Zach Lavine, right? Because people go, okay, well, how much would Zach Lavine impact the Lakers? Because a lot of people feel like he wouldn't impact the Lakers, right? Now, Zach Lavine averages 18 field goal attempts per game, right? This season, he's averaging 16.6, but he's the last like handful of years, he's averaged anywhere from like 17 to 20. So let's just meet in the middle. 18 field goal attempts per game. He is 45% on catch and shoot threes, which he's going to be playing alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis. He's going to get a lot of 3-point attempts. He's a career 38% 3-point shooter on 6 attempts per game, but the last basically 6 years, he's averaged 7 to 8 threes a game and has continued to shoot 38 to 40% from 3. So on 18 field goal attempts, he is averaging around 24 points per game. On 18 attempts, 24 to 25, right? So again, 18 attempts, he's averaging 24 to 25 points per game. Okay, now, Rui Hachimura, right? Because these are the guys we're going to end up trading. You're probably going to include like a Gabe Vincent or whatever. Gabe Vincent's played 5 games this year, so I'm not even going to include him, right? So let's just look at Rui Hachimura and D'Angelo Russell, because those are the guys that are going to go out that are actually giving us some kind of production. So you look at Rui Hachimura, he's averaging 9 field goal attempts per game. He is shooting 36.8% from 3 on 3 attempts. So he's shooting 37% from 3, we'll round up, on 3 attempts per game, and he's averaging 11.6 points per game. Okay? Now let's go look at D'Angelo Russell, right? So D'Lo this season, he is averaging on 12 attempts per game. So combined D'Lo and Rui, that is 22 attempts per game. So 4 more field goal attempts than Zach Lavine, right? D'Lo is shooting this season 38% from 3. So both of them are shooting, let's say, 38% from 3, the same average as Zach Lavine on 3 attempts per game. D'Lo and Rui combined are shooting the same amount of attempts, almost to the number, as Zach Lavine from 3. So you're going to get the same exact 3-point production as both Rui and D'Lo. D'Lo is averaging 14.8 points per game. So let's say 15. So between D'Lo and Rui, they are taking 22 attempts per game and averaging a combined total of 27 points per game. So On 4 more attempts per game, they are averaging 2 more points than Zach Lavine. Zach Lavine is literally more productive than both D'Lo and Rui combined. And people don't want to trade those two for Zach Lavine. Anthony Davis and LeBron James are literally playing 2-on-5 out there. Literally. They are making up the last handful of games or so, are literally accounting for half of the points, rebounds, and assists. You're not winning games that way. They need help. LeBron James is playing the best basketball he has played since Miami days. He doesn't have the overall impact that he once did. He can't control every element and every aspect of a game like he did in especially his Miami days, but he still is a top 10 player in the league. Anthony Davis is playing like he's the best player in the league. The dude's averaging 30 and 15. The guy's been ridiculous, right? And the dude is going to end up being the defense player of the year this year, as long as he plays 65 games, which is another point. We're wasting Anthony Davis's health, wasting LeBron James's. If LeBron James was starting to show some bit of a decline or something like that, then maybe I wouldn't be so adamant about it. But you're not. Go all in. You need to pick a lane. Are we going all in? Are we pushing it? Then go do it. As I mentioned, you got to get these two a consistent option. We don't have any consistency outside of these two. Austin Reeves, you don't know if he's going to give you 20 or he's going to give you 10. And the problem is that he's not locking down defensively like he once did. I'm not saying he was an elite lockdown defender, but he was at least good enough, right? Now teams are targeting him. Also, another thing, teams aren't worried about anyone else except for LeBron James and Anthony Davis, right? Like Austin Reeves, teams are okay with letting Reeves go one-on-one, right? If he gets into the paint because they're packing the paint, they might send another guy, but for the most part, teams are totally okay with letting letting Reeves go one-on-one and looking at it hey, if Reeves goes off for 50 and beats us, then so be it. We'll live with that because it's never happened. You know who has done that? Zach Lavine. Zach Lavine has a 50-point game this year. Teams will not be able to defend the Lakers the way that they do with Zach Lavine because he's a guy, the Miami game, right? They ran zone the whole game. If you have Zach Lavine, they would not be able to run zone the whole game. Because 1, he could shoot the lights out. 2, he can just attack the zone by himself and break that up because he's got the foot speed and the athleticism. Right? So teams are going to have to defend him. And they're not going to be able to double team him, which means he's going to get one-on-one matchups a lot. And he's just going to be able to go get buckets. Not just that, but he's a guy that applies rim pressure, which means he's going to be able to get to the foul line and get free throws more than Rui, more than D'Lo. Again, you're talking about a guy that is more efficient than both D'Lo and Rui combined. On a bad night, he's going to give you more than those guys give you on an average night. Right? Give me the guy that on a bad night can still give me, 15 to 18. Where on a bad night for D'Lo, Reeves, and Rui, they'll be 2 of 11 and give you 6 points. At least I know what I'm going to get from Zach Lavine. And he's more dynamic than all of them. He's more athletic. He's more explosive. He can be a better defender. Right? So many people are worried about the defense and all that stuff. Zach Lavine has for his career, Zach Lavine, career defense rating is 114. League average is 115. So for his career, has been better than league average. That's all we need him to be, is serviceable. That's it. Also, a lot of the lineups that Darvin Ham likes to run, which are frustrating at times, but most of those lineups would work if you had Zach Lavine, right? Because you could run Cam Reddish and Jared Vanderbilt together because now their offense isn't as important because you have Zach Lavine. Again, teams are hey, D'Lo's out there with them. Okay, just leave D'Lo. Right? Just let him go one-on-one. Or Reeves is out there. Okay, fine. Let Reeves go out there one-on-one. Or if they have Prince out there, it's okay, well, they can't none of these guys can generate their own offense. So just leave them wide open. If Prince hits 23s and beats us, then fine. You know what they can't do? They can't do that with Zach Lavine. They have to actually account for him. And he's a guy that can go beat you. And he's going to have the easiest time he's ever had in his career. He would be, on most nights, he'd probably be the number 2 guy. But he would literally be, by pecking order, the 3rd guy. He's not a number 1 option on the championship contender. He's probably not even a number 2 option. But as a number 3, he is a souped-up charged number 3. I understand the contract issues. The Lakers are already locked up long-term anyway. They're over the cap regardless. The depth issues, the Lakers would still have plenty of depth. Even if they trade D'Lo, Gabe, and Rui, you'd still have 9 guys deep. And as I mentioned, Zach Lavine is better than all of those guys literally combined. More productive than all 3 of those guys combined. So there's that. And then the injury history. Zach Lavine's played 77 games last year. Right? The year before that, he played almost 70 games. The guy plays games. He's played, here's the last, since 2018, 2019. Because in 2017 and 2018 was the last game that, or the last season in which he only played 24 games. So, 2018, 2019, he played 63 games, played 60 games, 58 games, 67 games, 77 games. So the last 5 years, he has played at least 60 plus games. Which, I mean, average is like 65 amongst stars and stuff. If you look at the last 2 years, like I said, he played 67 and 77. So as long as he's playing something like that a season for the Lakers will be fine. The injury history shouldn't be as much of a deal if he's able to play those games. Zach Lavine is obtainable. He's not going to break the bank for the Lakers. As far as like what they have to trade up, I understand the long-term salary and all that stuff. Again, Lakers are already locked up regardless. Regardless. No matter what they do. They're locked up regardless. But give me the guy that can go get a bucket. Give me the guy that can take pressure off of LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Give me the guy that I know there won't be questions about him showing up. That's the guy I want. That's the guy I need to play. That's the guy I want to see on the court. He would immediately be our best scorer, like natural scorer. Go get me that guy. Go get me Zach Lavine. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Are you somewhere in between? However you feel, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. Again, I don't know how you watch these games and aren't like begging the Lakers to go get Zach Lavine like I am. You guys still have people tell me we don't need Zach Lavine. Lakers can't even score 100 points against Miami at home. And you don't think we need a guy that can go give you 20 to 30 on any given night? And he's going to have the easiest time he's ever had because he's going to be playing next to LeBron James and Anthony Davis? But, again, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate you all. See you in the next one. Thank you.